What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Calligraphy with Kat. And today's episode is a very, very special one. And it's all about Kat's new business or newish business, not even that new anymore.
Right, I know.
Flourish. So, okay, a couple questions. I know you're expanding, you're looking for employees. So we're going to talk about all that good stuff. But when did it start? And I know we spoke about it briefly in other videos, but, give me the Flourish like elevator pitch or like the train ride pitch. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds. Just take your time.
Okay, yeah, I'll just give a little background. So I don't know, for those who don't know, I'm a senior level dietetics student, and back in September, my best friend Erin and I, she's also a dietetic student, we started Flourish Virtual Assistants, and it's a virtual assistant business for specifically private practice dietitians. And our main areas of work is we just help dietitians grow their business and help them with anything that they need. It's a lot of content creation, design work, marketing skills, a lot of social media management. So kind of just all that back end stuff that a lot of dietitians just don't have time to do or weren't trained how to do properly. And we help them with all of that. And yeah, we're growing a lot. It's really exciting. And we might be we're going to take on some more assistants, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously I can vouch for, your skills and your creativity when it comes to content creation. Like I've tried to pull some of those lessons over. I know you mentioned someone had said like, oh, Andy's posts look a little bit better. That's basically thanks to Kat, to be honest. I finally learned the lessons. It took me a while, but you've seen them recently, right? But using the blue, using the green, it's not bad.
Yeah. I've been seeing it. No, you were using the templates and your logo in different ways, and no, you've been doing good.
It's not your level. It's not Flourish level. It's like,
but it's pretty.
Yeah. It's like sprout. It's like sprouting.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, before I even started Flourish, I was making Canva posts for Andy and making templates for him. And him and I were on a meeting one day, and we're just I was I want to do this. I should sell these. He's like, yeah, you're good at it. Why not? And it's crazy how that little idea now turned into a full-time business with multiple employees. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy how it kind of just started with that,
Yeah, it's I know you, and we're gonna talk about different things you do, but at least part of it, it's almost like a Canva consultant. So Canva becomes this it's almost Canva's almost like a language, with computers, how people code, Canva and the ability to make graphics on Canva on social media. Even though I know Reels are been popular now too, the ability to use Canva, it's not easy at all, by the way. Just to say, there's different levels to it, but the ability to use Canva and produce content is massively important because it allows you to convey messaging. So I know you kind of went through. Actually, you know what? Before we even talk about anything else, when was Flourish day one? How old are we talking right now? How old is Flourish?
Yeah, so Flourish started in, I would say, end of August, beginning of September. So How many months is that?
You got to pick an anniversary date though.
Yeah, I guess we should. Maybe September 1st.
September 1st, yeah.
That's a good day. Or,
yeah.
Is that not a good day?
No, because I was gonna be the first day of it's almost in fall, right? So it's not at all. So I was gonna be spring, but no, that doesn't even make sense. So everything's falling in fall.
I'll have to talk to my co-owner about an anniversary day and get that official. But
we need that sorted for the next video.
Okay. On my homework to-do list. But so probably about 6 months, let's say. 6 months old. So.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so you talk about some of the stuff you do with Flourish. What would you say, of all the activities, what would you say what our colleagues or my colleagues and your soon-to-be colleagues want? What's the number one source? If you have to rank the help people want, is it Canva content creation number one? Take us down the list of the most desired services that you guys offer. And let me ask you this other question as well. Has your offering changed as you've interacted with more people and you get a better sense of what they are into in terms of
Yeah, honestly. So I would say, starting with the first question, social media management is a big one. So making social media graphics as well as captions, hashtag strategies, and just helping dietitians. By now I've worked with so many accounts with, Andy knows such a big range of different followings that, I offer a lot of expertise about what kind of content, how to center your content, how to have a content calendar, a strategy. So a lot of that marketing, social media management, I would say is pretty up there. And then pretty close under that would just be content creation for these private practice dietitians, whether that's making ebooks, patient handouts, group courses. So really heavy on, and that can all be done in Canva too. So Canva is not just for social media posts. We also use that for all of those things as well. So I would say those are kind of top two. And then everything else is a little bit falls under like blog writing, SEO, marketing, a little bit of admin tasks. And that's kind of, I guess, for your second question, thinking virtual assistant, I feel like you kind of think more like, oh, inboxing and taking phone calls and like scheduling appointments. And like, that's kind of what we thought going into it, but it actually turned into more of like a content creation, design, marketing kind of job, at least for Flourish, like our company, that's what we do more of and our expertise. So now I almost a little bit turn away people who want admin tasks just because I don't feel like that's where our expertise lie. And honestly, like for the price you're probably going to pay us, like it might not be worth it for you to do a job like that. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say, like I said, more of that like content design work is really where we do like most of our work with dietitians.
So yeah, so like if someone watching today, wants to talk to you guys, to work with you, as like, what is that initial process like to figure out, if you're a good fit, anything that, you look for that's like, I don't know, a green flag or whatever the case may be?
Yeah. So like I said, kind of definitely clients who are looking for the help in those areas. So they want help with their marketing, their social media, their content, and they'll come to us, and if they want to be an assistant, like they want an assistant, and we'll usually email back and forth like, hey, what services are you looking for? Here's kind of our rates, like this is what we do. And then I always send them over like our work portfolio, which usually ends up like speaking for itself, luckily,
which is really itself,
which is key right there. Like portfolio is key. And normally after they see that, they'll down to schedule a call, and then really on the call we'll just talk. And now it's just really finding those clients that one, are wanting what we have to offer, and two, definitely willing, like we're getting to the point where it's like, clients who align with our views, like we get along with them. Like when you're an assistant, you're going to be working with them. Even sometimes, like some of my dietitians, I work with them daily on the phone with them, calling them. I mean, even like Andy knows, like we communicate so much. So like you really need to be working with people that like you vibe with and get along with. And so we're really big on that. Like if we, just don't think we would really work with that company, or they don't fit with us, then really we're good about saying, hey, you might want to look for somebody else. But I'd say it's a little bit how the process goes.
Yeah, no, that is actually really important, because if you're watching this as well, it's like being able to connect with someone who can share your vision. Even myself, right? Like if you, even with writing, and I want to talk about writing briefly in a second, but writing or bringing visuals to life or messaging, everyone has a different vision for things, and they have a different way they can communicate things. So it obviously makes sense that you're looking for people that you can build some rapport with, and you kind of share their kind of creative their creative vision. Like mine is one way, and other people's obviously are another way. So like that aspect is really important. I know we talked about this a bit briefly, but you've been doing a bit of like, you've been doing a little bit of writing as well for some Flourish clients, if I have that right. Tell us a bit about that, because that's just really awesome.
Yeah, so surprisingly, a lot of dietitians, want blogs for want blog posts, but don't always have time to really, I mean, Andy knows, I know how long it takes to write a good blog post. And especially I, got trained in SEO. And so a lot of dietitians aren't familiar with that. I mean, they might have some of the plugins, they have the WordPress site, but they have no idea what to do. So, we definitely help with that. So we might write some blog posts for dietitians, like a few a month. There's one I do like every few weeks. I'll just write posts for them, and then they able to post it. We'll do guest writing. So like my name will be on it, or sometimes even ghost writing. So like you wouldn't even know it's me. You kind of get into their character, you're them. I do a lot of marketing pieces as well. So, a lot of promotional, or like telling a story, maybe even like copy homepage writing. So, I've gotten into doing more of that. Once you get that marketing like sense down, there's so much you can do with writing, even beyond just like blog posts. So definitely been like that. And even like writing captions, like that can take some time.
It's a skill.
It is. Yeah. So
no, that's good though. It's good it just speaks to the value of kind of like being able to work with words, you know what I mean? Whether it's like formal writing, or like to your point, website content, or a copy on graphics, or whatever the case may be. That is really, really important. I was going to ask you a question that was along those lines. I was going to say something quick. One thing for you for sure that I give you credit for, that I'm sure people that you're working with are going to appreciate, is you definitely make sure to keep up to date with certain things, right? So with writing, you took the SEO course, and I'm sure when it comes to social, like, you use a lot of best practices with your clients, and that's definitely something I know you do. So I can speak to that on my end, you know what I mean? So for people watching, it should definitely, something very important to acknowledge, because I'm guilty of this. Me, it's like we have all the things we get caught up on, the way we do things, but it is really important to have a fresh, fresh insights from someone like yourself. So an experienced dietitians out there need to realize, I can tell you that kind of stuff is invaluable. And that's definitely, that's for sure one of the benefits you're going to get of kind of working with the new wave. Essentially that's what you guys are, like it's kind of the new wave of nutrition students and nutrition professionals. So on that note, speaking of the new wave, I know one of the reasons why I want to do this video is because you're expanding, you're looking to bring some people on board. So tell us about that. Like, what are you looking like? Yeah, I mean, who are you looking to bring on board? What are the characteristics they need to have? What should they expect? Let's go through all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we are just growing like literally like crazy, and we can't take all the hours on ourselves, and we want to be able to offer services to as many dietitians as possible. And we want to also just take our expertise of like how much we've learned in the past 6 months of like growing this to a full-time business, and we want to help teach other people that. So we really want to take some people on board to help, be assistants and help with content creation. And it is kind of a unique job where we do need somebody that has that nutrition knowledge. So that's why we are kind of looking for like dietetic students, interns, or registered dietitians, just because we do so much heavy nutrition works. We always do everything research based. We're always looking at studies. So like, we have to be able to take those like high level concepts and break them down into content. So we definitely need somebody who's up to date on all of that. And then also it's just such design, like art heavy creative work. It really is, like, to be honest, like I really need, like I would hope to love to get somebody like on that level with us who just loves art and design, who has an eye for it. It really kind of is an eye, who just like knows what's up and just has even just some social media like experience or presence would be great, marketing as well. Just any of those skills that I need to be able to present to dietitians, I would love to find in a candidate. I mean, obviously, as well as all the other qualities you want in a candidate, organized, timely, all that stuff as well would be a great hope. But we really are looking also people who want to grow with us. Like we definitely have opportunity. I'm literally going to say like hours are endless. Like I guarantee if I have people, I will find clients. Like that's just how like Andy knows what's up. Like I will find us people. So like
there's, and you guys started a Facebook group too, right?
Which is something else we should talk about too. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that, because you mentioned, I know that's popping off. So tell us a bit about that. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably post this video there. So
you should. So we just noticed that there was such a lack of resources around like virtual assisting for dietitians, actually on both ends, like for virtual assistants and for dietitians who want to look for a virtual assistant and don't know what services they offer, don't know anything about contracts or taxes or forms or like anything about it. So we were like, you know what, why don't we start a Facebook group? There's so many little dietitian Facebook groups, but there was nothing for like virtual assistants. And so we started, it's literally called Virtual Assistants for Dietitians. And it's only about a week or two old, but we already have almost 300 members. So it's just been like insane. Like I think the first night we had over 90 people join, and now it's just grown so much. I think it's only a week and a half old. So to almost have like 300 people just shows that there's like so much room there, and there's not a lot of like content being, around that, centered around like that idea. And inside the group, there's actually already probably 6 or 7 VA job postings. So now I'm connecting other VAs with dietitians, because I'm like, I can't take them all. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, I want to give them out. So I'm like, if you're a dietitian, like post in my VA group. So we have job postings in there. So definitely if you're looking, even if you apply for us or like want a job posting, like you can head in there. If you're a dietitian looking for a VA, you can also join, and there's a lot of VAs in there that you can connect with, make a post about, and we just share resources. So I'd love to start sharing some of Andy's writing resources. I share my own resources about VA content creation, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
No, I mean, that's okay. So there's a few things to say in response to that. I mean, first of all, you guys are, if you think about like VAs, and I've had people offer me in the past, like to be a virtual assistant, but realistically, you guys are for our fellow, dietitians, you guys are the prime, because you have the desire to help, but you have what most other people don't have, which is the passion and the knowledge for nutrition. So that's massive. Like that already sets you apart massively. It makes you in my opinion, like a much more obvious candidate, and again, with the social media, amount of people having their own business using social media, the connection there is a no-brainer. Right. And then on top of that, it's like, what I would say, if there's any nutrition students watching this, if they have the creative skills, which obviously, or the marketing skills, obviously is important for what you're doing, but you're almost, and because what you said about the research and knowledge translation, that's such like an amazing professional development tool. It's almost like it's almost like a master's course or a course that you're going to get paid to do work in. So I mean, that's how I would look at it for anyone watching this, especially if they're a student or an internship or something. It's like professional development that you're going to get paid for. So it's pretty sweet. You know what I mean? CAT is definitely worth talking to, if you're even mildly interested. And let's be honest as well. And even if you have the knowledge or some marketing skills and your creative skills are a little bit lacking, but you're willing to follow instructions, you can fill up those gaps, because inevitably you're going to need all of the above skills, very likely to be successful if you want to do things on social as a dietitian. So it's a very cool opportunity. It's, in my opinion, it's more than just a basic job or basic employment. It's one of the best things, probably realistically, that someone could do.
Definitely. I always say like this was a genius idea, because like anybody who especially if you're a student or intern and you want to go into private practice, I'm telling you, like, come work with us, because I work side by side with so many dietitians in private practice, and like not only learning from them, but also like Andy said, like I learned so much about nutrition, and I translate that into all of my M&T courses, into my internship, everything. Like I learned so many subjects, because my job for full-time job outside of school is researching nutrition and then turning it into content. So like Andy said, there's no better way to learn advanced nutrition topics, and even things that I don't learn in school. Like I work with a hormone dietitian, a woman, like she does female hormones, and I didn't learn any of that in my MNT classes. And the amount that I've learned just from working with a dietitian and doing content for her is actually insane. So definitely, like if you're a student who either just wants to learn nutrition communication, or you want to go into private practice and learn business, like any of those things, either come apply for us or like become a VA. Like I definitely recommend it, especially because you get to work from home, set your own hours, like, in this time, like it's
a win-win. It's a win-win-win across the board. And that's a good point as well. Like, the reality is, and this is why, I like writing as well, like the topics that most people are interested in, in the general public, it's very often not quite what you learn in school, and you have to go above and beyond, and you have to do your own research and your own writing or your own content creation. And you're almost forced to learn. If you work with all these different specialists and different niches, you're forced to expand your knowledge. You can't help it. So it's a pretty sweet deal. It is truly like a win-win scenario, right? And so I think that's part of the reason why it's done so well, and why it's like, why it's exploding. So okay, so whether someone is like a nutrition student, whether they're a dietitian or they're looking for a VA, so how are they going to reach out to you guys? where should they find you? I know you gave us give us everything they need to know. Like, if someone wants to get in touch with you or your team, like, where are they looking? What's up?
So if you're interested and you want to actually apply to work with us, then just send over your resume and your work design portfolio. Yes, I would love to see that. If you need help with making a portfolio, I have a whole post on it in my Facebook group, so you should go join that, because tons of people have used that. And so there's a plug for that. Join the Facebook group. But send your application or your resume and your portfolio to flourishassistance@gmail.com. Please title it VA application, or it will get lost in my inbox.
I'm going to put this in the description.
Okay.
I'll also put a link to the Facebook group, the Instagram page. Send me all that stuff. Whatever you want me to put in the link in the description, I'll put it there for you guys to check out. I mean, heck, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you can just message me and I'll just connect you with Kat too. So like, it's all good.
Exactly.
Okay, sweet. Anything else like that you want to get out there about Flourish that we haven't touched on yet? Like literally anything. I'm
trying to think. I mean, I think mainly just, like I said, just encouraging, students that if this is something that you're interested in, like just jump in and don't be afraid to try it out. And, you would just be surprised that, with the world I think we're in right now, like virtual work is kind of the direction we're going. And, dietitians need the help, and they want to like help patients, and they want to bring nutrition to the masses. And like, that's what we help do. And it's really just for a good cause. So I just remember your why and the purpose of like what you want to do as a dietetic student. And I think getting involved in this is such a good way to get in the community, connect with dietitians. Like, we're all a family almost. And like, that's kind of how I see my clients. Like, they're all my family. Like, we're all so excited to like meet at Fancy. Like, you know what I mean? So I think just like get involved, like don't be afraid to just like jump in. I mean, Andy knows, like I'm literally a student. I haven't even graduated yet. So like, there's literally no better time. Like there's no, no excuse. So I would just say that, like, I just want to motivate students to not be afraid to run your own business and to just jump in and take the, unconventional route. I think like that's okay too. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's a good answer. Now I'm going to ask you kind of a two-part question so we can finish off strong, kind of like a broader, kind of maybe deepish question.
Yeah.
So the first one is like, having run this now, I guess it's been what, 6-7 months. So like, the anniversary TBD, August or September. What would you say the number one thing you've learned is? That's kind of a hard question. And second of all, I know we talked about this a little bit off camera, but like, has this process changed your thoughts or views on what you want to do professionally going forward? Yeah, so I'll leave you those. So those two questions are deep.
Okay, so I guess change. What was the first one? What I learned?
Yeah,
right?
pick what's the most important thing you've learned about anything, business or content or whatever, having done this. I know you've learned a lot. You can't help but learn a lot. You start a business and you get this amount of clients. So yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah, so I would definitely say,
don't worry about the dogs.
Yeah, sorry about my dogs.
Yeah. That totally doesn't matter. It's all good.
My neighbor's walking by, but so yeah, I would definitely say, I think, just with all the work writing and with, content and like just learning how to really take the message and just deliver it to people in a way that they can understand. And it really is like a science almost, and there's a formula to it. And like when you unlock that, like it just opens so much, like you just get so much. And I think that was like the big thing for me, is like starting out with really not that much social media experience. Like I had like 1,000 followers and like really barely any blogging experience. And like, I'm pretty much all self-taught. So like I self-taught myself marketing and, and also like being a learner, like just forever being a learner, like take that extra course. Like when you're on spring break, it's so easy to like, obviously relax, but like I always was the type, like Andy knows, like I'm like, okay, what can I like learn next? Like what can I put on in the car on the way to class? Like what kind of, so like you said, staying up to date, like, don't just read a book on Instagram from like 2019, because I'm telling you, it's not going to be right anymore. You got to go.
Yeah, that's painfully true. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think just like really getting down, and for any dietitian, like our job is to kind of communicate nutrition to clients, and really figuring out, the formula of the best way to do that so that they're getting the most out of it and they're understanding it and it's helping them at the same time as like growing, your own business and yourself. So I think that's like the big thing I would say I learned, is kind of just unlocking, that skill and really getting that like so narrowed down that now I can help other people and teach them that too. And so many dietitians are like, wow, like that makes so much sense after you like, you just help them with it. So
yeah, being concise with messaging. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. That's a great example, for nutrition students out there, of a transferable skill, because you're going to need to be concise with messaging in whatever capacity you're like translating nutrition information, right? So there you go. Okay, so the second question, I guess, which is kind of maybe a bigger question, is like, has this process and being involved in this changed what you see yourself doing in the future at all? Because I know you had some ideas in your head, but now that you're doing this, it's going well. So yeah, has it changed or is it TBD, which is totally fair as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I still know that in my heart, like I want to be a dietitian who works with clients and who works more with nutrition side of things. So like, I don't really see, as much as I could maybe go become like a business coach for dietitians or like a virtual assistant coach, like I think that would be something I would, maybe do on the side and always help with. And like, I want to keep this, business going, and eventually maybe just have more of like a managerial role where I'm just like, running the business and like, helping other people in the business with my employees and all that. But I do think like my main goal would be to still open up my private practice. Like I still want to see patients, because that is kind of like where my like passion lies. But it has like helped me, with like looking at different niches and different populations of people and like still kind of figuring that out. So it has been nice from that standpoint. And I think I would always love to still do work with like marketing, design, and all of that. I'll continue.
And you'll have to probably, yeah. Or you can get yourself a VA. Though, yeah. Or you're gonna get yourself you'll get yourself a VA. That reminds me, you know what you should do as well for my website. You can do this whenever you want. Yeah. Is just, you should write a blog post talking about Flourish, showing off the process, some of your work, like in a way where text and photos are like mixed and matched together, to give people a sense in a quicker way, maybe who don't want to watch a full video. Obviously they can see what you're about pretty easily on Facebook and stuff, but you should do that. So let's add we can add that potentially to the homework list
Okay.
But yeah, look, I mean,
Sure.
yeah. I mean, look, you've come a very long way quite quick. So very, very
Mhm.
proud to see it. And yeah, I mean, look, guys, you know what's up. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. If you follow me, you see even how like my posts have changed in terms of from Cat's inspo. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you gotta go check out some of their work. It's simple as that. It's exceptional work, and I know there's a lot of people who are saving a lot of time and being able to redirect that time, to doing the other things they love to do. And so that's obviously
Exactly.
that's the value. You
Exactly.
get the value on your end. Obviously, the clients get the value, so it's the ultimate
Exactly.
win-win.
Yeah.
So
No, you put it exactly right.
well,
So yeah.
all right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for
Yeah.
flourishing
Yeah.
with me.
Well, thank
And
you so much.
oh yeah,
I
that was a pleasure.
appreciate what'd you say?
I said it was a pleasure as
Yes, I
always.
appreciate being on again. And yeah,
Yeah.
definitely anyone can always reach out. And yeah, thank you.
Yep. All right. The awkward video ending. It's so funny because we were talking about how the start's awkward and sometimes the ending can be too. So there you go, guys. All
You're just like
right.
trailing on, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Let's see.